Boy JC, I'm in the mood. Love, yeah. Lately I've been constantly thinking about you, babe. You drive me crazy, yeah. And girl, I want this. Got me all up in my feelings. Oh, what a feeling, yeah. I knew the first time I laid eyes on you that you would be here forever. I'm not being arrogant, and I still can't take my eyes off you. 'Cause you made me better, so much better. I'm in the mood to love you for a lifetime. I'm in the mood to love you for a lifetime, baby. I love your kindness, I love your confidence. Ooh, you're the finest. So glad you're mine, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I don't wanna be with nobody else. Give me your love.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? it's it's Monday, and you know what that means.
Yes, so
Back in the
we're
marriage.
back again in the marriage shop, and we're glad you guys are joining us. Thomas Stokes, Michelle Moore Wilson,
Hey,
Kimberly, Kim, and Wright White. Glad you
what?
guys could join us.
Hey, what's up?
Charles Jones, thank you, and thank you for the shout out on
Good
the
evening.
song. We like it too. Jasmine McNeil, hey family.
What's up?
Antoinette Brunson, and who else we got? I think I got everybody so far. I think. Anyway, glad you're joining us tonight in the marriage shop. So we're excited to be here. It's been a long few weeks. And when we spring forward, it takes me at least a week or two to spring forward to catch up with it. So I don't know about you, but I'm still back. I'm still, I think I'm an hour or two behind. But we're just thankful for another opportunity to share with you guys tonight. So thanks for joining us.
You're not exaggerating about that 2 week thing
No,
either,
I'm
are you?
not at
Yeah,
all.
that's funny.
I mean,
It's
even Ruby made the adjustment. Oh, it's having a hard time.
having a hard time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just try to suck it up and get going, right? But it's just hard. It's just 1 hour, but it's amazing sometimes how tricky it is to make that 1 hour adjustment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes a huge difference. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm a fall back kind of person all day.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking that maybe if we fell back 2 hours this upcoming fall, that then I might be able to make the adjustment in spring of 2022. I don't know. I guess it's not going to happen, but yeah. So anyway, it's chilly here. It was nice a couple of days ago. Now it's cold again. That's kind of what it is down here in Georgia. You never know what you're going to get. You kind of have to take a light jacket, a sweater, and a winter coat with you just in case the weather changes while you're out, and an umbrella.
Yeah. I mean, this year, it got me. This year, I said it. I didn't.
It sounded like.
Yeah. Anyway, this year, I said I wasn't gonna let the weather get me, right? Because you will have that little warm snap, and I'm like, yeah, wintertime is over. The witch is dead. Let's go. And I said I wasn't gonna let it get me this year, but I let it get me this year.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yeah, it's springtime, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, everything's sprouting, bees.
Yeah,
around,
we got bees, we got wasps, mosquitoes.
Yeah.
We got grass trying to come up. So I'm like, yeah, it's over. But it's March, right? It always happens.
Yeah.
A little chilly snap.
Not over. Christina Janae.
What's
hey,
up?
Thanks for joining us. And Anna Reeves, always glad when you can drop in. And Clarence Perry.
Hey, what's up?
Yes.
Father of mine.
He says the same there in Virginia Beach.
Yeah. So that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what's been going on?
You know what's been going on. So, you guys have been joining us. I think it was last week we talked about working together. Was that last week?
We did talk about
So
working together
we
last week.
talked
Yeah.
about what it's like to work together, some of
Or a
those
couple of weeks
challenges,
ago. Yeah.
a couple of weeks, overcoming those challenges of working together or working with your spouse. And
Yeah.
so lately we've not only just been working together, but we've been working on a project together. So Mike has been teasing this for several weeks with you guys, but we have finally finished our book.
Woo-hoo.
And it is in the process of being published. And I would say you could check at midnight tonight on Amazon. You can probably pre-order the ebook if you're into reading ebooks. The paperback probably will come out by the end of the week.
You mean for pre-order? Or are we releasing that tonight? I thought we were going to dangle it out there a little while longer.
Well, we might. It just depends. So either way, the book is out there. So if you're an e-reader, we have something for you. And if you're not, and you just like to hold the book in your hands, or perhaps you'd like for us to sign it, then that paperback might be the way to go.
Right. Maybe we can find a way for like the Marriage Shop folks to be able to have first crack at that.
Yeah, I think so. And so I mean, because we're telling you guys first, so we haven't we haven't put it out anywhere except for on our Marriage Shop page right now, but plans going forward are going to be a little bit different. So in the coming weeks, you're going to see a little bit more. We'll be talking about it. There'll be some things posted about it, and it'll be available. So I think the first promotion, though, is that we're going to have the paperback available for the same price as the ebook.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, you want to get that?
Yeah. So we'll let you guys know first. And that the official hard launch date is April the 4th, 2021. And that just happens to be our anniversary.
Ta-da! Yeah. Yes, it is. 23 glorious, amazing years.
Yes.
23 of them. Like our marriage is old enough to drink plus.
Yeah. Plus, not rent a car.
Our marriage
yet.
is real grown.
Yeah.
Insurance is still kind of high.
That's so funny. Yeah. Well, that's great, Charles Jones. I'm glad to hear you guys are working on a book. I can't wait to hear, see, and read what you guys are putting together, because you're on an amazing journey. So that's really exciting. Congratulations.
Sure. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Michelle Moore Wilson says she's a hold the book kind of girl. Yeah, me too. Yeah. Me too. And so we can't wait to get that out there. And of course, we'll let you guys know first. So tonight we are talking about the book a little bit.
Just a little bit. And we thought tonight we wouldn't talk as much content tonight. We want to talk more about the process, maybe a little bit tonight, because we as maybe a little follow up on what it's like to work with your spouse. And working with your spouse, as some of you indicated, and as we talked about, there can be some challenges with that. But working with your spouse as you write, start this book project together, that's a whole different kind of beast right there. Totally different kind of animal. That is, yes. And
yes,
here we are. We made it.
Sort of.
and we kind of promised a follow up too. So yeah.
Yeah, you did.
You said I did.
You did.
I did. Well, I mean, yeah, because that's what we agreed to. So why not tell the people?
Yeah, of course. So just like, and we've been talking about this for a while, but like a lot of people with COVID and the shutdown, we found ourselves with a little bit of time on our hands, and time for reflection, time for prayer, time for planning. And we talked about COVID babies a little bit. And so, of course, it dropped in that this would be a great time to start to work on something that we have been talking about for a couple of years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so many of you know, I released my first book in 2017. And that was it was an interesting process. I learned a lot. And I was glad to get that out there. And I always describe it as a healing work.
Yes.
That I really wrote it for me, but I have just been blown away by how many people have been blessed by what I wrote. And so it started with that. So that kind of started that journey into independent publishing. And then released another one after that, and then had one in the works that I'm still kind of sitting on. So we'll see about that. And then we did one for our business.
Yes.
And that was a short one, but a good one. Some really good content in there. And so now there's this. And so working together to collaborate, to create to write. We have different writing styles.
Completely different writing styles, like night and day. Yeah, different writing styles for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so coming up with a way to kind of capture that in the same piece, I mean, that, that was a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
That is in the beginning stages. I think what we came to worked out pretty well, but just thinking through how do you do that? Whose voice is it going to be? That was, yeah.
And so different writing styles, different, what's the word? Not urgency. Just our timelines were different.
Yeah, our timeline. Well, we had the same timeline. Our execution was a little different. Because and it's interesting. See, writing, like, just writing to be writing is one thing, but writing with a deadline is that's different too.
Yeah,
because it's like, what happens when you're not feeling it? What happens when you've got that block?
Yeah, which happens,
Yeah,
and so I think it's easier. So some of you, Charles said that they're in the process of writing a book.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you have written books recently, or you're in the process of writing a book, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
And if you had questions for us about our process, we're happy to answer those questions too. But we're gonna really kind of give you kind of a sneak peek and an overview of what the book is actually about. So Anna Reeves says, I don't like working with Jesus when he thinks I'm a part of the kitchen staff. And we fight about who will be boss. Yeah, we talked about that. So you might want to go back and check out our video. If it wasn't last week, the week before, about working with your spouse and all that. That's funny. That's a good one.
That's hilarious.
Hey, Desiree. Glad you could join us tonight. We miss you.
Yeah, a long time.
Yes.
Yeah. So, so working with you, man, it's a process. I tell you what.
Working with me is a process.
Working with Wendy is a real process. You just don't know. But no, it's good. And the whole publishing thing, I mean, since you've gone through that a few times, that was helpful. I mean, I was like kind of totally hands off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a whole lot of ways to independently publish your work, and a lot of people go about it different ways. And at the end of the day, it really is just about you putting together what you think is going to resonate with people, or that works for you. And so, format, how you construct it, really, I mean, it's whatever you want to do. It's whatever you want to do. So there are people who put out books that are 50 pages, double spaced, and there are people who put out books that are 500 pages. Yeah,
in tiny print. So,
yeah, ours is not 500 pages, tiny print. It's about 155 pages.
Yeah, give or take. And so, so I mean, tell them how enjoyable it is to do something of this magnitude with me.
That's a setup.
Tell them. Don't you mind? I know she's rendered speechless, y'all. I mean, and who could blame her, right? So yeah.
Seriously.
I mean, it was that amazing.
Yeah, no, not amazing. Not amazing. It's a challenge. It's a challenge working with Mike. Because he has great vision, but in terms of the level of urgency behind certain things, everything doesn't necessarily bubble up to the top priority. So
wait a minute, so you said you weren't going to use the word urgency earlier.
Yeah, I know, but I had to come back to it. So, because it is, hey, we got to get this out. And so, trying to balance how many times you say, hey, we have to get this out, or are you going to get that done? And then considering everything else that has to get done. And then it's kind of like, okay, so I think probably the most difficult part is, okay, give me everything that you have. Okay, I got it. Now I can move forward through the process. And then, you'll come back and say, I think I want to change something, or I have something else, or this just dropped in. Yeah. That by far has to be the most difficult part.
Yeah, because I mean, and that is interestingly enough, that's kind of how it is, like in most stuff. Right, my brain never stops. It just never stops, like refining I just can't stop it. Right. So what I do is I stop myself. So if I say, hey, you know what, this right here, we need to maybe consider this. That's after really wrangling, like, nah, really, it cannot go on without this part right here. And then we're done.
Yeah, but
so get it out of here.
One of you has to be the one that says, hey, this is it. It's it. Submission is closed. It is done.
I did that.
Because otherwise you will not get through with it. And so it's, at some of the most difficult times, when it gets discouraging, when it gets hard, that's when you really need to push through. And that's probably true with everything in life. And just like we talked about when we talk about working together, having a shared vision, right? That is so important. Why do you want to do it? And so I talk to authors all the time and kind of have that discussion, because at the end of the day, you have to be motivated about what you're doing. Yeah. Whatever that reason is, you have to know what it is. It has to be clear and you have to follow through. And so, Rella, you're right. Working with your baby was nothing compared to working with Mike.
Your baby ain't got nothing on me.
She loves to write. She's an incredible writer. And so it was just about, again, for people who might have a tendency to procrastinate a little bit, just saying, hey, I don't want to have to call your mom. We need to sit down and get this done. But she did an amazing book, and I'm so proud of Megan and the work that she put together. So yes.
Michelle Moore Wilson says that's overthinking. No, that is not overthinking, Michelle Moore Wilson. That is thinking. Sometimes it's almost like, let's say you forgot to put, I don't know, your last name on the cover of the book. That's a must-have, right? So it's kind of stuff like that, where it's not that obviously, but the level of importance. No, I get it, right? Yeah. So sometimes, even toward the end, I was telling Wendy, listen, go ahead and get that thing pushed out, because my brain is starting to work, right? And I'm beginning to, but a lot of that, I just control myself, and I just never even brought it up in terms of things that I might change or whatever. Because at some point, a good friend of mine said it just last week. Like, what did they say? Done is better than good. I thought that was hilarious. I've
heard that before.
Right? So, but and in some cases that's true, because no matter what you tweak, there's always going to be something to tweak. And in the case of this piece, there's a lot of things that we talk about in there. And so there are people that were there that then you get in your head like, well, what is this person going to think? What is this person going to say? Is this accurate? I mean, what was important to me was to ensure that, generally speaking, that my timelines or my whatever synced up with Wendy. Yeah. Right. And so once we kind of accomplished that, boom, done. And then a day passes, another day, and it's like, maybe I should. And when I got in my head like that, I'm like, no, not going to do it. Right. Because it was also important to not consider, to me, I say not consider, probably not totally accurate, but to not start making big adjustments in what we wrote based on how it may be received in some ways. And you've talked a lot about that actually in the past.
Yeah, I have. And for those of you that are considering authoring a book or writing a book, or those of you that are already authors, one of the things that is really important is that you get to control your content, right? You get to control what you put in the book, but you do not get to control how it's received. And I think a lot of people get kind of caught up in, well, are people going to like it? How are they going to view it? What are they going to think about me? What if I don't get good reviews on the book? What if I don't sell any books? And you really kind of have to be okay with, if you only sell one and that's to your mom, that it was worth it. Yeah. If nobody ever says it was a good book, you have to be okay with that, because then again, it comes back to your purpose and your reason for writing it in the first place. And you have to be clear on whether or not you're trying to make money with this book, or if you're doing it for some other purpose. And so there's different ways of going about it, depending on what it is that you ultimately want to accomplish. Yeah. But you guys see us every week. We talk about a lot of things, and we're pretty open and transparent. And about pretty much everything. I mean, so when we speak publicly, when we talk to different groups, whether it's with family life or locally or ministries, and then we're here every week, we talk about so much of our lives. We don't necessarily talk about everything. And in a book, you can't put everything in there, but we put a lot in there.
We put a lot in there. And so that kind of gets in your head a little bit too, right? I'm like, Wendy, how did you do this? Because talking about things is one thing, but putting things in print, there's something different about putting it in print. You know, you talk about it. Hey, good talk, y'all. Maybe there's a video. And if there's a video, typically we have it. And I mean, people aren't buying the video of the talk, right? And so in a sense, that information is contained and controlled, right? You're not really concerned too much about it, but, you know, a few hundred people, whatever. There's something about a book. Having something, not only, you know, it's there, it's forever, and somebody be like, oh, did you look at that?
Did you know about that?
Yeah. So that's I don't, you know, kind of getting over that hurdle. That was a little interesting. I didn't anticipate that hurdle for myself. Actually, I didn't anticipate it. So yeah.
So what were you anticipating?
Nothing. Like, let's get this done. Boom. Awesome.
Write it, get it out, and no problem.
Yeah, no problem. No feeling about it in terms of, you know, any types of insecurity or any hesitation or anything like that. And then it was just like, what is that feeling? I think that's a little bit of insecurity and hesitation in there. Even me. So, you know, but we know why we wrote it. And, you know, I figure if you don't enjoy it, if it doesn't resonate with you, it's just not for you. That's true.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, and so there are going to be some people that were like, man, I've been waiting for something like this. And there are going to be some people like, man, I don't even know why they did this. And that's just the truth. Yeah. That's just the truth. You know, because does it benefit people to know everything about other people, right? Is there a benefit in that? And then, of course, you all know, you know, we reference scripture quite a bit, and you know that what we share here really is based on what we interpret and believe as God's plan for marriage. And so when we talk about our own marriage and when we share things, it really does kind of come back to that. You know, we've seen in our ministries where, you know, really kind of the power of testimony and the power of storytelling, and how it allows people to be able to connect on a deeper level and in ways that they might not have before. One of the things I used to say about us when we were newly married was that there wouldn't be a smiley face on the door if it wasn't a happy marriage. You remember that? Or you don't remember that?
No.
Well, I used to say that I never wanted to be people that were faking it, right? That we were really kind of in crisis all the time, but we put so much effort into making everybody else believe that it was all good. I just never wanted that. And so, you know, I can't believe you don't remember that. Okay.
I remember a lot of stuff though.
Yeah. Okay.
But not that one.
Yes. So
but I agree though. That's good.
Yeah. So the book will be coming out. Like I said, you'll be able to pre-order it. The electronic version probably by midnight tonight. It'll be available on Amazon, and then the paperback will be out probably later this week, but the official launch date is April the 4th, just in case you just joined us and you missed that at the beginning. So we're talking about our book. So the title of the book is When.
Yep. W-H-E-N, When.
It could be W-I-N.
It's a story about marriage. Yeah.
And then what's that little small piece that you put in there? Do you remember?
Do we still have it? You erased my board.
You erased it.
I erased it?
Yes, you did.
Oh.
I think it was.
It was good. It's about.
It was hope for moving from brokenness to
breakthrough. Yeah. Like, you wrote it. Yeah, I wrote it. But, you know, it's like here, boom, it's down. And it's like now, since it's captured on the paper, I don't have to like hold on to it.
Yeah.
But really, that's what it's about, hopefully. And hopefully that translates, right? I mean, that idea of being able to move from brokenness to breakthrough to being whole, right? And for us, that part of the central part of that wholeness comes with the marriage, right? So yeah, I mean, it's good. It's like really good. It's really good. You all have no idea. So yeah.
So it's both of our stories kind of interwoven into one book. It starts out with us really kind of giving a little bit about our background, each of our backgrounds, and then really just about our journey together in marriage up to a certain point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, we'll perhaps unveil a little bit more of that content, but I can guarantee you without question that this story takes some twists and turns that none of you would anticipate, because some of you probably make some assumptions.
You think?
I think so.
Okay.
It's impossible, in fact, with the folks watching this, it's just impossible that are not a good many of them who make some assumptions about what it is, what it's been, who we are even. Are y'all ready for that?
They know us.
I don't know.
And
are you ready? They do too. And some of y'all ain't ready. Yeah.
I don't know. We didn't send out advance copies to our pastor.
No, we did not. Our pastor will find out everything along with everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, was there anything else about the book you wanted to talk about?
I kind of want to talk about everything about the book. We just can't talk about it all tonight. But what I will say is, what I appreciate about you and working with you in this process is how, you kind of take whatever the task is, and Wendy is just, I don't even know where this person came from. Just churn through that thing like crazy. And me, I'm not really trying to procrastinate. No, it's more like it's there and you're going, and then boom, it's not. It's weird. And then it's like, okay, what is going on? Is it my mood? Is it did I lose it? And then boom, it's back, and it's churn, boom, it's gone again. So, and then there's the whole, the keeping the company going does sometimes get in the way. And it's crazy because when I was younger, that's funny. When I was younger, I could push and push and push. And I could say, you know what, tonight's going to be, an all-nighter, or tonight I'm going to get up at 5 and these days, it's like when your brain decides you're done, when your body decides you're done, it's like there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, it's true.
It's crazy. And so I have to plan and prioritize because my brain is like, yep, nope, sorry, I don't care where you are. Click, you're done. Yeah. And then I wake up and I have a page full of, say, like G's or something.
That is true.
So
Antoinette Brunson says, probably I'm somewhat of a taskmaster, I think.
She would be more of a taskmaster if we weren't married, right? If I was like just some dude coming to work, yeah, she'd be like, you give me what I want, give me what I need, or you're fired, right? But what's she gonna do with me, right? So she's graceful here. She's great. So she gives me grace, I should say.
For the most part. But I did know enough to know that we needed someone else to take a look at it.
Yeah.
That was not the two of us. And so we are thankful and grateful that we have some people that we know, love, and trust that were willing to take a look at it and give us some hard feedback on it. And some things that we needed to maybe adjust or consider that we had not up to that point. And so I highly recommend that too, because you can get in your own head. I mean, especially when you're working with somebody that you love, you don't want to hurt their feelings. You don't want to get into well, I'm right versus you're right. You guys know what it is to be in marriage. And so it's like, man, this is not about me criticizing you. I'm just giving you constructive feedback on your work. That just doesn't work when you're working with your spouse. It's difficult to separate that constructive feedback about your work or your work ethic versus you. Yeah.
So how, in terms of your, how difficult is it to get feedback from me? as compared to just like a third party?
I mean, it's difficult because it just makes me emotional, right? And I think it's more difficult because of the timing, and so when I open the window for feedback, then I want all of the feedback in that window. And when the window is closed, then I don't want any more feedback. And so if the feedback is just kind of trickling in at any time inspiration hits, then that's challenging. Yeah.
Good thing I don't do that. That's some more garbage right there. So Apprentice asked if the book is more about the journey or the destination. I would say, without question, this is more about the journey, this particular phase.
Yeah. This first book in the series is about the journey. Definitely. And Apprentice, I don't think you were on the night that we thanked you and Tasha for really kind of sowing into our ministry and our efforts here. We appreciate that so much. More so than that, your prayers and your guidance that you've given us. So thank you for that. But it's definitely about the journey. Yeah. It's definitely about the journey. And I think that you did a good job of bringing people along with you on your journey.
Yeah. Thank you. That's what my mom said.
Yes,
that's right. There are two additional pre-readers. Because we thought, depending on how heavy a role you play in that, maybe you need an advanced read, depending on kind of what. So but the whole idea was actually because part of the point of this for me, because it's kind of a 2-in-1 purpose, right? Because we are talking to married couples, but I also wanted to really speak to the men, right? And really talk about a lot of things along the way that I believe impact most of us, if not all of us. Yeah. And so I wanted, as much as possible, I wanted that to be relatable. And so I wanted you to be able to say, wow, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Even if you don't have the courage to say it.
Yeah. And, it would be great if there was a way for everybody that reads the book to be able to connect in some way with each other. And so we did include some ways. And of course, you guys know how to find us, where we are and how to connect with us regularly. But, I did the same thing with what I contributed to the book, where it really is kind of speaking to the women without saying explicitly and exclusively, this is for women. And so, the tendency might be, okay, well, the man is talking to the men, so I'm not going to read the man part, or, I'm just going to try to tease out the woman parts. And I think it really is, the value is in the whole thing.
No question.
Yeah.
No question. And so, you don't want to miss that. And plus, I mean, if it were me, I would be reading and comparing those. Right, because the way that, do we want to talk about that, the approach, at least kind of how we
sure,
why not? Okay, so
you said the book series better call Hallmark or Lifetime,
right? Cut the checks. Yeah. So but it was so we walked through, and basically what it illustrates is kind of us walking toward each other and then finding each other, and then what the beginning, at least, of our journey looked like. And so you have these two people with these different backgrounds. I mean, marriage is always it's just fascinated me because I don't know how it works. How is it possible that you take somebody who grew up in this family, in this environment, it's all kind of stuff that happens along the way, right?
Yeah.
And then someone else, different part of town, different part of the country, whatever, different home, all kinds of craziness there. And then they come together and boom, the two become one and live happily ever after, right? Well, sometimes not. How is that possible though? Because really, marriage should not be possible.
Well,
I may be overstating, but it should not be possible.
Well, marriage is not possible, not successful, healthy, happy marriage without having something bigger than yourselves.
Yeah.
To be able to kind of really to forge that thing, to form it, to forge it, and to carry you.
Well, babe, why don't we just give them the answer key or something? I mean, we gotta let that thing hang out there for a minute.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's one of those things where, just in general, people who are struggling in their marriages right now, you really don't care about what's happening with anybody else.
No.
And to hear how great it is, how great it's going, or how great it looks for somebody else, it's just like, yep, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling that.
Yeah, it's like whatever. You have no idea. You don't know my struggle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You may be surprised who knows your struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so, and Lisa's trying to get the birth of a human is highly unlikely too, but God makes it happen all the time.
Yes.
That's right, Lisa. You're right. Trying to get all deep with me. But yeah, exactly. Right. It's able to take two people because there's something that's necessary, I think, in order for those two people to make it work. And part of that is this surrender to doing it the way that God has instructed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, and for some, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. What we're about. But we also know that a lot of the people that we talk to, that we're around, that we work with, that contact us are not Christ followers. Mm-hmm. And so, but they're married.
Yeah. That's true.
So, not everybody really kind of embraces. I won't talk about beliefs, but not everyone embraces the idea that God has to be active or integral in your marriage.
Well, okay. Y'all don't have to embrace that, but I'm just saying. But what I found, and I think I've mentioned this before too, like in my experience, a lot of times when people come in and they're struggling, the ones who have that foundation, it makes things more manageable, and the results tend to be quicker in terms of getting back on track and coming to a place where they are healing and growing and happier together. Typically, the couples I've treated who have that connection, right, that spiritual connection, they tend to do better over time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's true. I mean, that's definitely true for the ones that we've seen together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what questions do you have? So we can kind of get to your questions. We're giving you exclusive access. You guys have any questions other than to tell you exactly everything that's in the book? So I told you it's about 155 pages. We both contributed to it. The title is When. That it's coming out. It'll be available on Amazon. And then we're going to have a promotion for the paperback where it's going to be the same price as the ebook for about a week or so. What else? But was there something else in there?
That sounds like a lot of goodies to me already. I mean, how many goodies we got to give? But I think we had one question from our apprentice, but I haven't seen any more questions. So
okay. Okay. So Michelle Moore Wilson says, having Christ in your marriage gives you a sense of moral compass. And I think that is so true. Because I think that often, people are trying to do marriage based on what they know and what they've been told and what they've seen, not necessarily based on what they believe. It's not a faith walk. It is a knowledge walk. And I think that is where we sometimes run into challenges and trouble. Yes. Autographs. Yes. So when you get your copies of the book, we will be more than happy to sign those books for you. So, because of COVID, having an actual in-person, everybody come together book signing probably won't happen in the next several months, but we would be happy to, if you want to send us your book, we'll sign it and send it back, or meet you if you're here locally, meet you, with masks on, and we can make that happen.
We could have like I don't want to do it, but a drive-up book signing or something.
Yeah, we could do that.
I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, I think it's possible. We might be able to pull that off.
It is possible. Yeah, we could totally do that. So, here's a question. So, is it testimony and scenarios with a side of counsel?
That's a good question. So, this book is it's light on the council, I would say,
Yeah.
right? Because there's a lot of things I think that we wanted to just own, right? To just put it out there, and yeah, and so it has some things for you to reflect on.
Yeah.
Right. But it is very much, I guess you would consider it in the book world, it would be a bit of a memoir. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with intent, right, of walking you to a certain place, and showing you how, first of all, how brokenness even happens in some ways in our lives, and then how we try to overcome it, how we try to mask it, how we try to kind of get beyond, and become, and what that morphs into, and then how you then bring all that together into people, and then how they work it out. So
yeah. And there's scripture throughout the book, and somewhat of application of biblical principles, but not overt. So it's in there. And I think those who know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would say that. And so then Thomas Stokes says, how difficult is it to organize your content for writing? Mike.
What? What, Mike?
You want to answer that first?
Well, I'll simply say, we had to really think that through on the front end, having two of us contributing to this. And so, because it couldn't be, we just sat down and started writing. So we kind of came up with, I guess, a process, a theme, a layout, in terms of how the information needed to fall in. And then we, kind of went to our corners and started putting that out.
Yeah.
And so for me, the organization wasn't the challenging part. It was, what am I really trying to say here, and what needs to be said versus what needs to be left out? So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what was helpful for me was to have an outline. So I kind of pressed him to create an outline. So you really kind of came up with the outline for the book. And so when I had that outline, then that gave me the guidelines, and then I could develop my content in the same way that you described. So what is it that I'm trying to say that falls under this particular chapter, or, how many chapters? What I brought to it before asking Mike to kind of create that outline was our target, right? We don't want this to be 500 pages. We don't want it to be 300 pages. So if we know about how many pages, then we know how many pages or how much we want to include in each chapter. And so that kind of gives you a loose way, or at least an initial way of organizing that content. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. Let's see. So Lisa says, should I change my name now or later? Just kidding. I can't wait to read it and encourage my friends to support too. Yeah. So, there's a shout out to you in there. It's not by name, but you know who you are. And so no, you don't need to change your name for that purpose. Ron Harvey says, how did you choose the cover? Yes. So yeah, well,
go ahead.
These are interesting.
Yeah, interesting question.
Yeah, it is an interesting question. So I created the cover, and Mike and I take a lot of pictures, and we wanted pictures that kind of look like us now, but so it didn't look like it was pictures that we took in 1998. But also not pictures that we took last week, because it is kind of a journey. But I wanted to choose pictures where we look like we are in love, that we love each other, and we're digging each other. So that's how we came up with the inspiration for the cover.
Yeah, and hopefully what the cover does, because you see it, and I think that cover captures us, like who we are, who we want to be.
Yeah.
And so no matter where you are in that book, you ever been watching a movie and you saw a preview, or you saw the title, and you're in the movie and you're like, how in the world are we going to get to what I saw? I think the cover kind of does that, because it presents us as we are. But as you walk through that, at some point you have to ask yourself the question, like, what?
What? That's funny.
Yeah.
So Jessica says, a masked drive-by. And Michelle Moore Wilson says, why not? I'm vaccinated.
Yeah.
So are we.
We about to get a couple of gallons of hand sanitizer. We doing this.
Yeah, it is the journey. So, who's that? You replied to Lisa?
No.
Oh, somebody did. So very helpful. Good. So what other questions do you guys have? I mean, to say that we have fun doing it, I don't know that we necessarily have fun. I think because it is nonfiction, and because we are tracing our journeys, every time we relive our stories, it's emotional. It has an emotion. There's not an emotional burden, but it can evoke a lot of emotion
every time.
So every time, whether you're writing it, or reading the other person's, is kind of like, okay, I'm not going back to that place, but I am going back to that place. So it just, it has a heavy emotional toll, I think.
Well, it does, but for me, it also has, there are those moments where I'm just like, yeah, I mean, because there's so many things to go back to. And so the things that are difficult, they're heavy, right? And I feel heavy, but the things that are like a blessing or inspiring, I feel that too. And so it's crazy. It's like a journey every time. It's just like when we speak, it's like walking that journey every time. And so, yeah, that's the thing.
It is a thing. Yeah, we are ready to promote it, but again, it's going to be kind of stepwise. We want to make sure that we really reach you all, our base first, and then kind of put it out there and make it available to other people. But once it's out there, because it was out there and then I pulled it back. But once it's out there for pre-order, you'll see it on all of our platforms. So yeah, we're going to start to push it out there, and we want you guys to read it and review it and promote it in your own way if you think that is something that can benefit someone else, another couple, or someone that you think of. So Jasmine says, like you guys said, you have never really been shy about sharing your story and being open and real with your audience, no matter the platform. So what made you choose this medium? Why a book? Why is this different from your usual outreach? That's a great question.
That's a great question, Jasmine.
Yeah. So why? You kind of talked about it a little bit in terms of the reach that we have. So our reach is our reach. So every Monday, whoever we reach, and that's through Facebook or YouTube or Instagram. There are people who just kind of vibe with us. This is where they are on Mondays at 7, and we appreciate you for it. And then there's a limit to that reach, I think. When we speak, and it's kind of finite. It is that experience for that moment. If you're there with us in the room at that time, then you kind of have us, and it is kind of a captive audience on both sides, and it is what it is for that time. Writing something really makes it something that lives forever. And I think that, to expand the reach potentially, but also with the hope and the promise that it will help so many more people, I think. What do you think?
No, yeah, I think that's it. It is the longstanding nature of it. And it's also, the fact that a lot of people have never seen us speak, may never see us speak. And some people don't even follow social media, and certainly, they have other things to do, et cetera. And so it's another way. It's another pathway to be able to give people some hope. And so, yeah, I mean, that's in a book is kind of one of the ways to do that. Maybe still one of the more effective ways to do it. If you want reach like really quickly, social media, right? But if you want depth, a book is kind of the way to go.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And, why a book, and why would we choose to do this at this point? And I think really fundamentally what we want to do is to point people in the right direction, right? It's not really about us. So to answer one quick question, it's not to make money. That's for sure.
But not to make money, but we'll take money. Yes, we will.
Yeah.
But no, it's not.
But it is because, we are unequivocal about the fact that if God had not been in our marriage, that we would not be married. And or that our marriage would not have survived.
Yeah,
and
true.
so because that is our belief, then we absolutely want to share that with everybody that might be able to benefit. There are so many people who have considered divorce, or who are suffering through every day, or just trying to make it through each day, and they don't have a belief or a hope that there's any way out.
And even to add on to that, because you're exactly right, there are people who believe that they're too damaged to be worthy even of being with someone else. There are people who haven't forgiven themselves for things over their lives, right? And they carry that into their relationships. We just, people need to understand that God covers everything, right? And so part of this is it is that, and that's why I believe, it's about hope. It's about recognizing that you can't be too damaged or too broken or what have you, right? Many people bring that stuff in. Even if you bring it in, right, you don't have to keep it. And so I think that ultimately this is about finding somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with, and going through, and there being hurt and pain and challenges along the way, but remembering, I had to remember, and I didn't really think about it this way until it was written down. There were many times where it was like, Mike, this is before I even met her, like, that's your wife in there. So go make it happen, right? Go seal the deal. Go tell her, like, let her know it, right? And then, along the way down the road, it's like, this is my wife, right? The person that God chose especially for me. And so, yeah, mistakes happened. Yes, she's still your wife, and you're still covered, right? You still have access to the forgiveness that God has to offer, right? Because I think a lot of times what throws us off in our relationships is that we can't let things go. And if there's something about other people that you can't let go, if you begin to peel back the layers, a lot of times the things that you can't release about other people are the things you have not released for yourself.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it is, ain't it?
Yeah. You say that again.
Yeah. So thank you. But yeah, so I think that's in part what this is all about.
And thank you, Michelle. We appreciate that. It really just encourages us to continue to do what we do, to continue to share, to continue to talk, to continue to connect. If it'll help somebody, help a couple, help two people, help anybody. And if it does, then that blesses us. So thank you for sharing that. We are humbled to hear that we're helping other people's marriage.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I just remembered the other thing. It's the video.
What video?
That video. Our video. The music video, girl. Yeah. So we're shooting a Lifetime. We're shooting a video for Lifetime.
The song.
Yeah, not the channel, not yet. But no, yeah, we're shooting a video. In the process of doing that right now, even. And so the final day of shooting is going to be on Saturday. Yep. The 20th of March. 20th, right?
March 20th.
Yeah. So we just came up with an idea like literally today. We're like, oh, our video guy, is he watching? I'm not sure. He's gonna kill us for this when he hears about it tonight. But we're considering actually incorporating some like people in that video. Appropriately like outside.
Yes.
Appropriately distanced, more or less, right? So,
yes.
But we love for y'all to like come to that, right? It's couples. There's a dance that we're doing. We haven't finalized it. We're gonna do it. We gotta figure out some details. But if you want to like come downtown, probably in the Augusta Commons area, and you're in this area, shoot us, DM us. Actually, actually, you know what? Can we just give them? Let's do email.
No, just send it to us in Messenger.
Messenger. Oh, Messenger's fine.
Yeah, send it to us in Messenger, and we will give you all the details. And all the details is the time, the place, and what to wear.
Yeah.
And we'll even send you, and you've already seen it, and check our page, Brian and Lisa McNeil doing the dance.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're going to be doing. So if you're up for it, you and your boo, your bae, your spouse are up for it, we'd love for you guys to come out, and you would have a cameo in our music video, the official music video for a lifetime.
Right. And so and we haven't finalized it yet, but we figure we don't have another chance to get at you all like this.
Right.
So but send us your information, and then we'll get kind of fill in the details and let you know that it's a go. But that could be like really cool, because we honestly we hadn't seen until recently like multiple couples doing this at the same time.
Yes.
Lisa Brian, yo, it's amazing. Yeah. It's crazy.
We got to see it on Saturday.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, And so Jessica says, my husband is very particular who pours into our marriage. I'm so glad to have met y'all. He will sit and watch these with me. So thank you for y'all's transparency.
Wow.
Thank you. I mean, that's just a blessing. And I get it. I'm very particular about who pours into our marriage as well. Sure. So I completely understand. And so, hey, you guys have been such a blessing to us, and we're just thankful. So we are just in a posture of humility, of being grateful for all that God has done and continues to do in our lives. And we're just thankful to be blessed with all of you. So send us a message in Messenger. We'd love for you to come out and we could virtually hug on you. Just come out for a little bit of fun on Saturday. And with that, I guess we'll be back next Monday at 7 to do this all again.
Yeah.
We'll be talking. And by that time, you might even have the book. So we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. So can we pray for y'all real fast? Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Heavenly Father, we just come tonight just thanking you, God. Thanking you for just your wisdom and your guidance, and for walking us through every step of the way. We ask that you bless every couple listening, every couple watching. Just be with them in their marriage. Bless them with joy and peace and a connection that can only be formed with you in it, God. Help us to all get past our brokenness and become something more, something whole, something complete. So we just thank you for that. We love you, and we trust you with everything. We pray these and other blessings in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
So that's all, y'all. See you
next Monday.
Then.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's your boy JC. I'm in the mood. Love. Yeah. Lately I've been constantly thinking about you, babe. You drive me crazy. Yeah. And girl, I want it. Got me all up in my feelings. Oh, what a feeling, yeah. I knew the first time I laid eyes on you that you would be here forever. I'm not being arrogant, and I still can't take my eyes off you. 'Cause you made me better, so much better. I'm in the mood to love you for a lifetime. I'm in the mood to love you for a lifetime, baby. I love your kindness, I love your confidence. Ooh, you're the finest. So glad you're mine, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't wanna be with nobody else. Give me your love, that's all the wealth I need. Baby, you're priceless to me, yeah. To love you for a lifetime, I'm in the mood to love you for a lifetime, yeah. Whoa. Promise I'ma be around, I'ma always hold you down. Won't you come and hold me now? Won't you come and hold me now? I just got a new coupe, yeah, I know I got a roof, but I always keep it down with you, yeah. And I know they see, girl, you're my queen, and beauty speaks for itself loud and clear, yeah. So throw it in the air.